If you could only protect one piece of land forever, what would you choose? A forest, a lake, maybe a ranch bigger than some cities? Right now, Texas might just do that. A 54,000-acre ranch could soon become the state's next great park, and it's one of the biggest conservation moves in decades. But is it really a victory for nature, or is it just a headline that sounds good? Let's find out. Hey everyone, I'm Patrick with LoveLeigh Adventures, and this story hits close to home. We're talking about a ranch so huge it stretches across 2 Texas counties, land filled with wildlife, canyons, springs, and miles of open range. It's called Silver Lake Ranch, and it could soon become the newest Texas state park. If it happens, this would be the largest state park land purchase in a generation. In a world where wild land keeps disappearing, this is rare good news. So today I'm breaking down what this place is, why it matters, and what it could mean for Texans, and for the future of outdoor access in America. Silver Lake Ranch sits in Kinney and Edwards counties, about 2.5 hours west of San Antonio. It's 54,000 acres. That's roughly the size of Washington, D.C., plus another half. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, or TPWD, is working to buy it using money from Centennial Parks Conservation Fund, a $1 billion fund voters approved in 2023. Why here? Because this land is a rare mix of hill country, desert and wetland, rolling hills, limestone cliffs, oak and cedar woodlands, and a massive spring-fed lake in the middle. Wildlife officials say it's home to deer, turkeys, migratory birds, and possibly endangered species like the golden-cheeked warbler. In a state where private land covers 95% of everything, this ranch could open up a huge new piece of public land for everyone to explore. Here's a stat that might surprise you. Texas ranks near the bottom of all U.S. states in public park land per person. For every 100 Texans, there's only about 1.5 acres of state park, paired over 10 acres per person in states like Montana or Wyoming. That means most people have to drive hours to find a real trail, campsite, or clean swimming hole. Texas has been losing access faster than it's gaining it. As ranches get sold, housing spreads, and land prices soar, wild areas vanish behind no trespassing signs. The Centennial Parks Fund was meant to change that, to make sure ordinary families could still hike, fish, camp, and enjoy open land without needing private access. The Silver Lake Ranch deal is one of the first big tests of that promise. Here's the quick rundown. The state is negotiating to buy the ranch from private owners. If approved, it'll become a new Texas state park managed by the TPWD. There's a public comment period open until November 5th, and a final vote on November 6th by the Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission. If it passes, construction would start in phases. First, basic roads and trails, and then campgrounds and visitor facilities over the next few years. So it wouldn't open overnight, but it's a massive step toward keeping this land wild, instead of watching it get turned into a luxury hunting estate or housing development. Imagine miles of green hills that roll into canyons, creeks that run clear even in summer, wild turkeys crossing open pastures, and a massive natural lake surrounded by limestone bluffs. That's Silver Lake Ranch. A lot of people don't realize Texas has landscape this beautiful outside of the hill country and Big Bend, but this area has the same rugged charm, with the bonus of being more accessible for families in Central and South Texas. The land also holds a mix of ecosystems that connect several wildlife corridors. That means animals can move between protected areas instead of being trapped by fences and roads. A huge win for biodiversity. Projects like this don't just save land, they protect clean water, wildlife, and Texas identity. This ranch sits on top of part of the Edwards Aquifer Recharge Zone, meaning rain that falls here helps fill one of the state's biggest underground water supplies. So every tree and patch of grass here acts like a natural filter. There's also a cultural side. Many Texans feel connected to the land, ranching, hunting, camping, but few actually get to step foot on wild property anymore. This park could give that back to the public. Let's run through the biggest positives. Conservation protects 54,000 acres from future development. Public access opens new trails, camping, fishing, and outdoor space for millions of Texans. Tourism and economy, new jobs in small towns nearby, plus business for gas stations, diners, and motels. Education. Schools could use it for science trips, bird watching, and hands-on conservation lessons. Climate. Forests and grasslands help store carbon and keep the region cooler during heat waves. Basically, this project checks every box: recreation, economy, and environment. Of course, nothing in Texas comes easy. The biggest challenge? Money. Even with the billion-dollar fund, this purchase could cost hundreds of millions, and that's before building trails, roads, and restrooms and campsites. Then there's management. Parks can get overcrowded fast, like we saw with Palo Duro, Canyon, and Garner State Park. If this one isn't planned carefully, it could be loved to death. There's also talk from a few lawmakers who'd rather see the money spent on existing parks instead of new ones, and private landowners sometimes push back, worried that public parks being traffic or trespassing near their property lines. So while most Texans support the idea, it still needs careful planning to succeed. Outdoor groups are excited. The Texas Wildlife Association, Environment Texas, and Backcountry Hunters and Anglers all called it a once-in-a-lifetime generation opportunity. On social media, people are already dreaming up trails, campsites, and boat ramps. A few locals near Bracketville say they hope the park boosts small-town jobs. One rancher told the Houston Chronicle, "I'd rather see families camping here than another fenced-off resort." That's the kind of community pride that can turn a good park into a great one. If Texas, a state known for private property, can protect 54,000 acres and still bring people together over it, that sets an example for everyone. It shows conservation doesn't have to mean government overreach. It can mean teamwork, funding, and local pride in something that lasts. And remember, public lands aren't just for hikers or campers. They're the backbone of clean air, clean water, and local economies that depend on nature. Here's the timeline. Now through November 5th, TPWD is taking public comments. November 6th, the Park Commission votes. After approval, a past development plan will start. Trails, basic camping areas, then more facilities later. If the deal fails, the land could easily be sold to private investors, meaning the public might never see it again. Even if you're not from Texas, this story matters. Every state faces the same battle. Keep land open for everyone or watch it vanish into private hands. Parks are the great equalizer. Whether you're rich or poor, you can show up, walk a trail, and see a sunset. That's what this is about. Giving the next generation a place to explore that isn't behind a paywall or a fence. So here's my question for you. Would you rather see this land protected forever or see another 54,000 acres disappear into private development? Because once it's gone, it's gone. You can build more houses, you can drill more wells, but you can't build another wild place like this. If you live in Texas, you can help right now. Go to the Texas Parks and Wildlife website and submit a public comment before November 5th. Tell them whether you support turning Silver Lake Ranch into a new state park. Your comment goes on record and actually counts toward the decision. And even if you're not in Texas, you can still share this story. Because every time the public fights for nature, it sends a message that these places matter. So what do you think? Should Texas protect Silver Lake Ranch? Or is this just another expensive project? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love stories about public lands, hit like and subscribe. I've got more coming on Big Bend, the National Forest, and what's next for conservation in America. I'm Patrick with LoveLeigh Adventures, and I'll see you out there.